Hey guys, Josh here. So every month I keep stumbling upon new upcoming farming games and I would like to share some of them with you. So these are all games that I recently discovered. Some of you might have heard of them already, but hopefully you can discover some brand new games that will gain your interest. Most of the games I'll talk about today are still pretty early in development, so details such as release dates and platforms are either yet to be announced or subject to change. So with that in mind, let's just start. And the first game I'd like to talk about today is Research Story. In this game, you play as a researcher who moves to Shimmerbrook, a little town around which people have been starting to notice a ton of exotic plants and creatures. You'll need to explore the surroundings and catalog your discoveries for the town's archives. Of course, as with any farming sim, you'll get to grow crops and raise animals. However, it seems like certain crops will have different growing conditions, such as weather, distance to a water source, and sun exposure. And you'll really have to take these things into account if you want your plants to thrive. And it's the same for your animals, so you'll have to figure out their diet if you want to be able to tame them. And then if you continue to meet their needs, they will be able to give you some perks that will help you with your farming and exploration. So it really looks like in this game you'll have to observe how your plants and animals are reacting to what you do and really learn from it and improve to make your farm more efficient. It really seems like each type of crop and animal will have their own behavior and needs. So yeah, I think this game has the potential to add some element of strategy and diversity in the gameplay, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So the graphics in this game look very simplistic. It reminds me of another great game, by the way, called Littlewood, and while I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, personally I quite like it, and I think it's definitely going to be worth it if the gameplay is interesting. So this cozy game is being developed by Cozy Cat Games, and you can already wishlist it on Steam, so I'll make sure to put the link in the description. We're sticking with pixel art for the second game on this list with the appropriately named Pixelshire. This one looks pretty cute and the style is a bit more detailed than the previous game, so it might appeal to a wider audience. From what we know so far, it seems like it will play it safe in terms of gameplay with most traditional farming sim elements such as growing crops, raising livestock, mining, fishing, etc. And it will also include combat and randomly generated mines and islands for some variety, plus the ability to fully decorate your land and house, and to manipulate the ground and the water. So I'll bring up Littlewood again very quickly, but this last feature reminds me of the terraforming in Littlewood, where you could basically change the whole map. You could move the water around, create some islands, some rivers, and do whatever you'd like. So this reminds me a lot of that, and it was a lot of fun, and I'm sure creative people will enjoy playing around with the layout of the map. While exploring the world, you'll get to meet different people, and after building a house for them, they'll move into your town, which reminds me again of Littlewood. And if you befriend them, they will teach you some valuable skills, so there's some kind of skill tree in this game as well. And on top of that, they can also follow you around and help you with certain tasks, depending on, I guess each character will have some kind of specialty or profession. So depending on who you bring with you, they will have some perks and advantages. I think Pixelshire will be a fun game, and just like the other games on this list, it's still very early in development. But I really would like to see more unique features and things that will make it stand out from other farming games, because everything I've seen so far from the description and everything on the website, there's nothing that I haven't seen in other farming games before, so I would like to see more novelty. But I'm sure it's gonna be fun, and this project is currently in development by Kapabits, a solo developer from Greece, and if you'd like to learn more about it, I'll leave a link to the official website in the description. Okay, now let's switch things up a bit with Delphinium or Delphinium, I'm not sure how you're supposed to say it. It is described as a narrative-driven, interactive fiction game with some farming mechanics. I'll talk about the graphics first because wow, this game looks so beautiful. The style reminds me quite a lot of Octopath Traveler or the much older Ragnarok Online. Let me know guys if you were also addicted to Ragnarok Online, I missed that game so much. But anyway, I love this combination of 2D and 3D, and just look at this, the lighting, the animation, and all of the effects, and I can already see myself losing track of time and completely immersing myself in this fascinating world. Yeah, it's just a very beautiful game. In terms of gameplay, we don't know too much about it yet, beside a few videos showing glimpses of farming and cooking, but it seems like it's going to be very story-driven, and it's about Hayan, a young woman who isolated herself in the house she grew up in, following a personal tragedy. And you get to spend 7 days in her life, So that's an interesting part because 7 days doesn't seem like a lot of time to grow crops. So it doesn't seem like a lot of time overall. So I don't know if it's going to be either a very short game or if maybe there's going to be some kind of time traveling mechanics or something like that. Or maybe your crops are going to grow super fast. So I'm not too sure what the 7 days thing is about. So I'm very curious about that. And in any case, I'm super excited to get to know more about Haiyan and discover this character and the world of Delphinium. And for sure, it's gonna be a nice change to have a farming game that not only strays away from the typical just taking over Grandpa's farm story, but a game that really focuses on the story aspect. So I'm looking forward to that. And for now, the best way to follow this game's development is on Twitter, so I'll put the details in the description if you'd like to check out the latest updates from the developer. The next game I'd like to show you is Fields of Mistria. This one immediately caught my interest when I saw the screenshots. Like many games on today's list, it is a 2D pixel art game. I'm sorry, maybe it's not your day if you don't like pixel art. However, the colors look so nice, the animation and all the little details look so polished. I think it can please even players who don't typically enjoy pixel art. However, what stood out the most to me were the characters. The game will feature a cast of 30 different characters, 12 of which being romanceable, and by the way, you can romance anyone. And the developers also mentioned that you can pick your pronouns in this game, and yeah, you can marry anyone, so you have lots of freedom. And while they have only shown a handful of characters at the moment, the ones that they did show all look fantastic. It seems like they took some inspiration from 90s manga and anime for the style of some of the characters. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but this game is really giving me some retro vibes, but at the same time it looks very polished and modern. So let me know what you guys think, but I'm already in love with this game. In terms of gameplay, it seems like you'll find all the typical farming RPG stuff, including combat, but it seems like they're also adding in some magic. Here you can see the character doing some spell to change the weather, and of course it waters the crops. There was something similar in Sun Haven, I think that was a water spell, but yes, I'm glad to see another farming RPG with some magical elements. Especially as we all know that watering crops can be very tedious with a watering can. And also on these other images, you can see cows playing together with a ball. I don't know if that's actually going to be something you can do in the game. Maybe you'll have to buy toys for your animals in order to increase their happiness or some other mechanic like that. But it just looks so adorable. There's also a little squirrel. I don't know if you can adopt wild animals or something like that, but yeah, it just looks so cute. I'm really enjoying the art direction for this one. Let's hope the gameplay is up to par, and no release date has been announced yet, and it's planned to release for PC at the moment, but the developers have said that it might come out on consoles as well, depending on how the development goes. And of course, I'll put the link for the official website in the description. Alright, that's enough pixel art for today. This last game is actually quite different from the other ones, not only because it's fully in 3D, but also in terms of gameplay. So in the Ranch of Rivershine, the focus is on building a horse ranch, raise and train horses, and race and win competitions. So there's still farming involved, as you'll have to cultivate some grains to feed your horses, as well as fruit trees to gather snacks such as apples and pears. I was not able to find any footage for the actual farming, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna be, how that's gonna look. Most of the footage from now shows like the racing around, like riding your horse, but it just looks like a very, very beautiful and colorful game. And you'll also have to befriend villagers. For example, if you'd like the carpenter to add new buildings to your ranch, or for the ranger to clear new paths for you and your horse to explore, you'll have to make relationships with them and befriend them, and then they'll give you some kind of special perks and things like that. So there's gonna be some relationship aspects to the game, and that's also something I'm not too sure how that's gonna work exactly, but I'm looking forward to it. And I never played any kind of horse riding game before, but this game looks like a nice entry into this genre if you like farming games, because these two genres I think can mesh pretty well together. So yeah, I'm looking forward to my first horse riding game, and this game is being developed by solo developer Eloise Laroche, who is also a fellow French-Canadian, which makes me so excited to support her. And you can currently wishlist the game on Steam, but as with everything else on today's list, there's no release date yet. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for today's list of farming games I'm keeping an eye on. Let me know if you discovered some interesting games thanks to this video, leave a comment to let me know which one, and subscribe if you don't want to miss out more content like this. Also, if you're a developer and your game didn't make this list, please feel free to let me know in the comments and I'd love to take a look at your project. I'm so interested in indie games and also bigger projects as well, but yeah, don't be shy to let me know about your projects. And also if your game did make the list, just keep up the great work. And if you'd like to contact me to talk about your game, or if you have some kind of early access or demo for your game that's coming out, just feel free to let me know as well. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching, and I'm gonna see you all in the next video.